The stage is set and it's time for war. Whichever side that gets more wins overall after this two-night battle will control WWE. And things at night 1 are being kicked off with the women's War Games match. And Julia and Io Sky are starting things off. Massive matchup continues as Bianca Belair, Roxanne Perez, and Becky Lynch are also representing the Rock's side. Where on the other side we have Cargill, Morgan, and Stephanie Vaquer defending WWE as well. And nothing happens until everyone enters. And that's when things get interesting, because Io Sky misses a double springboard dropkick and she's met with a Northern Lights bomb by Julia instead. But Vaquer interrupts, and once an SVB, she successfully takes down Julia with one and goes on the top rope for a dive. But instead, Becky Lynch joins her up there and delivers a massive manhandle slam through the table, breaking Stephanie in half. But keep your eyes on Liv Morgan, who delivers an oblivion to Becky Lynch face first on the steel chair, but then she's also met with a pop rocks by the Prodigy, taking her out of the scene. But Roxanne herself is caught by Jade Cargill from behind for a beautiful Jaded as Cargill plants her down face first. This is gonna be the chance for their team to win, but as Cargill is standing, she gets speared in half by the EST. Bianca Belair sends Jade Cargill to the opposite ring because she wants to take her down with the KOD, and that's it. The first win for the Rock side as these four women gained this massive victory, which is a really hot start for their side as the night continues. We move on, and now it's time for an Intercontinental Championship Steel Cage match where Aleister Black, who's also on the Rock side thanks to William Regal, will be challenging Finn Balor for the IC title. But the fact is, he may not be challenging Finn Balor for the title. He may be challenging the Demon for the prestigious Intercontinental Championship. The Demon arrives and the crowd erupts after almost 3 years. The Demon has returned, and the Demon has returned with his own unique superpower abilities. But Aleister Black is not backing down as well. The match is brutal as we expected it to be, and Aleister Black is beating the living hell out of Finn Balor. But at some point when he puts him on the top rope, Balor manages to survive and delivers a coup de grace, landing on the chest of Aleister Black. But Black manages to kick out as Balor didn't get all of it in the midsection, so he goes for another one, this time to get all of it. But Black moves and takes him down with a massive black mass right to the side of the head. But Balor unbelievably survives of that as well. The match continues as the brawl between these two men continues, because at some point, they're now on the top of the cage. They're fighting each other at the most dangerous part of the structure, and Aleister Black smashes Balor's head on the top of the cage, but Balor counters, and he does the same thing, but he also throws Black down from up there high. Nasty landing for Aleister, and the Demon is going crazy. He's thinking something that has high risk. But the Demon is built for this moment. He dives for an avalanche coup de grace, but Black moves, and that nasty landing for Balor gave Aleister the advantage for another black mass after a kick to the side of the head, as we have a new Intercontinental Champion. The second score for the Rock's team, as Aleister Black is the new IC Champion. But can we crown another new champion in the third match of the night? The challenger Lyra Valkyria is going to challenge Naomi for the WWE Women's Championship, but Naomi is not even letting Lyra finish her entrance. She blindsides her in the middle of her entrance, and the match starts. So Naomi has the upper hand most of the times as she is doing the dirty work. But Lyra manages to kick out of the sit-out slam by Naomi, so the champ gets frustrated and she leaves the ring. She goes to grab a steel chair. We know this is a normal one-on-one match, and Naomi would be disqualified if she uses that, so that's why the referee is not letting her do that. But as she's busy throwing the chair out, Lyra Valkyria rolls Naomi up. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's more than a 3 count. Lyra just beat Naomi, but there was no referee to see it. Also, there's no referee seeing Naomi raking Lyra's eye as she follows it up with a springboard kick. And to finish her off, the split-legged moonsault landing on the spine. And she hooks the leg. Another score for Team The Rock. Things are getting even harder for Team WWE as Lyra Valkyria was not successful to save the WWE Women's Championship from Naomi. so the score is 0-3. The situation is getting worse match after match, but now it's time for a little bit of Cero Miedo, because Penta's here for a massive 6-man tag team match. He's teaming up not just with his brother Rey Fenix, but also the newest member of SmackDown roster, Javon Evans. These three high flyers will take on one of the most powerful unions of the Rock side, the team of the United States Champion Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio. The match is an absolute classic, the type of match that you can't even blink, because if you do, you're gonna miss something in this matchup. All these 6 men are trying their best to take their opponents down, but they can't, because all these 6 men are world-class athletes. But eventually, we reach the point that Rey Fenix and Dominic Mysterio are the legal competitors, so Andrade wants to distract the referee so Melo and Dominic would be able to take down Fenix with an illegal double team. Melo enters the ring, but Javon is here to even the odds. He knocks Andrade off the apron and sends him in the ring. While on the other side, Rey Fenix slams Carmelo and Dominic's head into one another. He sends Melo out and tags Penta in, as Javon Evans is delivering a gorgeous OG cutter to Andrade in the middle of the ring, and Rey Fenix is launching himself through the ropes to take down Carmelo Hayes. Now it's time for Dominic Mysterio to be punished for his actions, as Penta gives crowd another Cero Miedo chance before the sacrifice, and he follows it up with the massive Penta driver to Dirty Dom. The hopes are alive. Thanks to these 3 men, Team WWE recorded their first score, as now it's 1-3. It is still a very difficult task to equalize the score, but Team WWE will definitely try their best. Now it's time for a champion versus champion, and of course, title versus title contest, as the Women's United States Champion Sol Ruca will put her title on the line, as well as the Women's Intercontinental Champion Zoe Stark in a double title match. Who will walk out as a double champ? Well, both of these women are trying their best, and at some point Zoe Stark manages to get the upper hand with a beautiful sniper dropkick as she calls for the Z360. Sol Ruca is getting back to her feet, and she's launched for the finisher, but Ruca somehow manages to catch Zoe and land a beautiful moonsault after taking her down. So this gives Sol the advantage to deliver a soul snatcher in the most beautiful way possible. Now Sol Ruca is a double champion, and thanks to her, Team WWE needs just one more win to equalize things. Congratulations Sol Ruca for becoming double champ. But now it's time for the phenomenal one to arrive, because AJ Styles is scheduled to face an opponent of William Regal's choosing. First, he brought his own son Charlie Dempsey on Raw, but he's been recruiting people from all over the world just to show AJ Styles that he's wrong. But before we can find out who his opponent is, William Regal appears on the stage and has some words for AJ Styles. Ladies and gentlemen, you all seem to be very excited to see your phenomenal one AJ Styles here at Survivor Series. But you know what? AJ Styles has made the biggest mistake of his career. And tonight, I promised each and every one of you, as well as AJ himself, that I would find the perfect opponent to put him in this place. An opponent that doesn't just represent the future, but the very spirit of professional wrestling. The man who became undeniable, the man who carried independent wrestling on his back, and has been waiting too long to return to WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, stand on your feet and say welcome back to this man.
Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
We have very good memories with this man, but we have to say that Matt Cardona is gonna start a new path in WWE. He was the man that William Regal told Ava to bring from another promotion, and this man is king of many indie promotions all around the world. And he's now back in WWE to make a name for himself, but most importantly, to record a score for The Rock's team if he manages to beat AJ Styles, because AJ Styles is not gonna back down in any case. A 5-star matchup between these two men takes place, where eventually AJ Styles hits a Styles Clash. But this is not gonna be the end of this match. Matt Cardona didn't return to WWE to lose this easy. The match continues as Cardona tries his best to wear down AJ Styles and is trying to do that with a super rough rider, radio silence to AJ Styles. But AJ still kicks out of it. And this absolute banger match is gonna end with a Styles clash by AJ Styles, followed up by a phenomenal forearm right on his jaw. Welcome back, Matt Cardona. But for AJ Styles, the most important thing is to save WWE from this rebellion that is taking over. So thanks to the phenomenal one, the score is equalized. 3-3. AJ Styles beat Matt Cardona, but we are not done yet, and we have still matches to go. Next up, we have the man who was chosen by this rebellion, Logan Paul, who's gonna be put against this man, CM Punk, who was against this rebellion from the very first place. They tried to shut CM Punk's voice, but they didn't know that CM Punk is the voice himself. He's the voice of the voiceless, and he's not gonna stay silent. But if you like it or not, Logan Paul is one of the best athletes that this side has chosen, and that's why they put him against CM Punk, because he's literally hitting the best moves possible to CM Punk in order to keep him down. But at some point, when he goes for the box shot lariat, CM Punk ducks under and hits him with a twisting neck breaker and calls for the GTS. Logan Paul is in position, and CM Punk lifts him up and takes him down with a go to sleep. And the best in the world falls for the cover. But Logan Paul, with a smart decision, grabs the bottom rope, which forces a break. Paul goes out to regroup, but CM Punk is frustrated. He's not leaving him alone. He leaves the ring. But that is the environment that Logan Paul chose to get the upper hand, because he counters CM Punk's attack and takes him down with a dropkick outside of the ring. He tosses him into the steel steps, and the fight outside gets near the announce table. But eventually, CM Punk is the one who still has the upper hand as he delivers a suplex off the announce table, but then he turns around and he sees something. He thinks of something and he decides to toss Logan Paul towards the Prime stand, breaking it into pieces as well as sending a big message to Logan Paul. They return to the ring and CM Punk connects with a second GTS to Logan Paul, which finally gives him the 3 count and gives him the win. A massive comeback by Team WWE as they are now 1 score ahead. Team WWE 4, Team The Rock 3. But there's still 1 match left for night 1. The main event is still left for night 1. And in that main event, we have the deserved #1 contender to the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther, challenging for that title. This man won a tournament to become the #1 contender, but because he rejected William Regal's offer numerous times, they called this match not just the World Heavyweight Championship match, but also a punishment for Gunther, as Braun Breaker is one of the biggest chosen ones of their side to put Gunther in his place. The unpredictable badass, the World Heavyweight Champion, is going to put his title on the line against Gunther. But is Gunther able to make Team WWE victorious after first night? Well, both of these men are uber athletes. Both Gunther and Braun Breaker resist as much as you think. Chops, submissions, kicks, whatever you could think of, these two are doing to one another. And at some point, Braun Breaker locks in their styler recliner, but Gunther manages to break free. However, Braun Breaker still has many of his plans left, many of his moves left for Gunther, but eventually Gunther is the one who's getting the upper hand. Massive clotheslines one after another, followed by a splash where Braun Breaker can't do a single thing about it, and Gunther wants to end this damn thing with a powerbomb. But it's not a 3 count as Braun Breaker survives. He goes to the top for another splash, but this time Braun Breaker joins him up there and delivers an avalanche breaker steiner from up there. Now he's lining Gunther up for a massive spear, and he hits him with it, and Gunther's almost broken in half. But he's not giving up. He lifts the left shoulder up before the 3rd count to survive. But Braun Breaker is again lining him up for another spear. But Gunther moves and Braun cuts the referee in half instead. We know he's got one of the best, if not the best, spear of this business. And the referee just got taken out with that. But Gunther is taking advantage of that distraction and is locking Braun Breaker in a rear naked choke. But Breaker manages to find a way to get out of it. And he goes off the ropes for another spear. But Gunther takes him down with another massive lariat. One more time, the rear naked choke. This time Gunther locks Braun's arm around his own neck. And Braun has nowhere to go. He has no choice but to tap out. He's tapping out, but there's no referee to see it. Gunther thinks he's become the new World Heavyweight Champion, but then he realizes that the ref is down. But this is also when the unexpected happens. Gunther is stabbed in the back by Ludwig Kaiser. He's been teasing that he's actually starting to like what William Regal and his side are doing. And he's revealing his decision at Survivor Series. He's betraying Gunther by planting him down headfirst on the steel chair. And he leaves the ring and sets everything up for the recovered Braun Breaker to line Gunther up for another massive spear. The referee is also back and he's counting the 3 count. And that's it. Braun Breaker is still the World Heavyweight Champion, thanks to the newest member of their side, Ludwig Kaiser. This was Night 1's main event, and the score is equalized again, 4-4. So that means Night 2 will be another start of this battle. But another thing that also has a new start is Ludwig Kaiser's career, who's trying to make a name for himself, and he's made his decision. It's time for Night 2, and we're kicking things off with the men's War Games match. Pure bad blood is included in the rivalries of this matchup, as Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, Ricky Saints, and LA Knight are facing Karrion Kross, Omos, Ethan Page, and Jacob Fatu. At some point, Fatu's going for the mighty moonsault, but Randy catches him out of nowhere in the midair with an RKO to take him down. Also, Ethan Page and Ricky Saints are fighting each other on the top of the cage, where Ricky knocks Ethan off the cage through a table. And Karrion Kross is left alone in one of the rings between Randy Orton and LA Knight. Omos tries to step up to save his ally, but out of nowhere comes Seth Rollins with a super stomp from the top. But Kross tries to take down Seth from behind, but LA Knight saves him with the BFT. This was not what we expected from them. They're still not completely on the same page, but LA Knight decided to save Seth Rollins. And it seems they want to talk about this in the middle of the match, but Randy Orton doesn't have time for this as he delivers an RKO to Karrion Kross to pin him and win the War Games match for their team. Seth Rollins and LA Knight can't figure things out for themselves after this match, but the most important fact is that Saints, Orton, Rollins, and Knight recorded another score for Team WWE. They're one score ahead again. But as we move on, it's now time for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, will defend their titles against 2 of the chosen ones from NXT. 2 women that were chosen from the Silver brand, the very same place that all these things started, to represent The Rock's side, JC Jane, and Fallon Henley in form of the Fatal Influence. After they kicked out Jasmine Nix off the group, they've been on a different level, and we can understand that by seeing them on the main roster in their debut tag team match, which is of course a championship match. But at some point, the Kabuki Warriors are looking for the insane elbow, but JC Jane takes down Asuka with a drop toe hold. Fallon Henley throws Kairi Sane at Asuka and takes Kairi down with the Famouser, and the rolling anchor by JC Jane to Asuka is enough, as Fatal Influence are becoming the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions just after their first match. The start cannot be hotter for these 2 women, as their debut match handed them the titles. The score is equalized again. It's 5-5. But now it's time for another tag team matchup. The Usos, one more time, will team up with each other against the enemies that they made for themselves. The Usos accepted to work with their family. They accepted to work with The Rock, and during this way, they made some big names as their enemies. Those names are Ilya Dragunov and Austin Theory, where the Usos didn't think these 2 men would be a big problem, but they are a big problem, because Austin Theory was the one who suggested this match to be a tornado tag team match. But no matter how good Austin Theory and Ilya Dragunov are, the Usos are one of the best, if not the best, tag team of all time. And if you're gonna put them in a tornado tag team match, that means you're maximizing their chemistry. However, they're still not successful to get the pin, as Ilya Dragunov is also fighting back against them. with the high level of resilience he has. But this banger match continues as splashes are broken up, as H-bombs are broken up. But eventually at some point, Jimmy Uso has put Austin Theory on the top rope. They're looking for an avalanche 1D, but as Jay's waiting in the middle of the ring, he's met by a torpedo Moscow by Ilya Dragunov. Austin Theory also manages to take down Jimmy Uso and comes down to the apron for a beautiful slingshot dropkick right to the chest of Jimmy Uso, as Ilya Dragunov follows it up with a super H-bomb from the second rope, and he goes for the cover. And that's it. This is maybe the biggest win of their careers, and this win can hand them some big opportunities in the future. They just beat the Usos, who we all know what a great tag team they are. But personal rivalries and tag team stuff are saved for later. For now, what is important is the score of this battle. Team WWE is one score ahead again, but now it's time for Mommy Rhea Ripley, who revealed to be on The Rock's side because she wants to finally get back on top, will challenge for the Women's World Championship as she's facing Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World title. Stephanie Vaquer is banged up after the War Games match last night. She's nowhere near 100%, but she still wants to fight this Extreme Rules battle. She believes that wrestling, that WWE is what she was built for, and that's why she wants to defend it with every single cell of body. But her opponent is not just a simple opponent, it's a multi-time Women's World Champion, because the Eradicator is one of the most dangerous women's wrestlers of all time. And of course, she's not showing any mercy against Stephanie Vaquer, especially her midsection and her ribs, which are damaged after that manhandle slam through the table in the War Games match last night, and Rhea Ripley wants to take full advantage of that. The Extreme Rules match continues, and Stephanie Vaquer wants to fight back against Rhea Ripley as well. With a small amount of gas left in her tank, she wants to fight back against Rhea Ripley. But when she goes for the SVB, her back gives out, and Rhea Ripley takes advantage of this and takes her down with a massive riptide, stacking her up. But Vaquer kicks out. Unbelievably, she survives off the riptide. She doesn't want to lose her title. She also doesn't want to give the Rock side the point. And that's why after Rhea Ripley set up a table, Stephanie Vaquer sets her up for the Devil's Kiss. There's still hope to win this match. There's still chance for Stephanie Vaquer to beat Rhea Ripley. She's putting Rhea on the table and she's climbing the ropes, looking for a splash through it. But as she dives, Rhea moves and a nasty landing inflicts even more damage on Stephanie Vaquer as Rhea Ripley hits a second riptide and stacks her up again. And this was it. Stephanie Vaquer was nowhere near 100%. She competed in 2 extreme battles in less than 24 hours. But if you accept it or not, we have a new Women's World Champion, who's also holding this title for the 3rd time, as well as equalizing the score again. But we also have another champion versus champion battle at Survivor Series. But the difference is, this time the titles are not on the line. The WWE Tag Team Champions Fraxium will be facing the tag team that believed to be the best tag team of all time, representing the Rock side, the World Tag Team Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. And the match is an absolute 5-star for the ages. This is that type of match that you will remember for the rest of your life. A huge tag team battle between Fraser, Axiom, Sabin, and Shelly. And at some point, Fraser and Sabin are the legal competitors, but the Motor City Machine Guns want to dive on both of them. But as they're taunting, they're wasting too much time because Axiom jumps on the second rope for a beautiful Spanish fly off the second rope to Chris Sabin, and also Nathan Fraser jumps for a superplex, turning it into a final cut as well. And now Fraxium are climbing the ropes. They want to dive on both members of the Motor City Machine Guns. And Axiom does that with a frog splash, where Nathan Fraser does that with a Phoenix splash. And Fraser hooks Sabin's leg for a massive tag team win over the Motor City Machine Guns. Team WWE 7, Team The Rock 6. A massive tag team win for Nathan Fraser and Axiom to show the world that they are the actual better tag team champions in WWE. But now, it's time for the OTC to arrive. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, is here to face the hooded man that cost him his match against Sami Zayn at Crown Jewel, which was revealed to be this unbeatable monster, Obafemi. The number of people that were able to beat Obafemi are numbered, and a debut cannot be harder for Obafemi, as this Nigerian monster is gonna face the OTC Roman Reigns in his first match in the main roster of WWE. Of course, Obafemi is younger, he's fresher, but Roman Reigns is the OTC. He's not backing down this easy. But the thing is, his opponent is not just a regular opponent that Roman has faced before. He's an absolute monster who's manhandling Roman Reigns like he's nothing. But at some point, he delivers a Superman punch and lines him up for the spear. But an unexpected interference is happening at Survivor Series. Sami Zayn, who's not done with Roman Reigns yet, is coming to interfere. But Roman Reigns does not have time to argue with the man he used to call the honorary Uce. He takes him out of the scene and returns to the ring to spear Obafemi. But Oba recovers and catches him with a massive back suplex, and he's calling for the fall from grace. And Oba goes for the cover. But Roman Reigns kicks out. He doesn't want to give up this matchup. This is not about passing the torch. This is about saving WWE. And Obafemi is looking for another fall from grace. But Roman Reigns delivers a Superman punch up there after he's lifted up. And he's going for another spear. He's lining him up. And this time there's no Sami Zayn to distract him. So he successfully takes down Oba with the spear. Someone is putting Oba's foot on the bottom rope, which forces a break and is not giving Roman Reigns the win. Just like Oba introduced himself to the world, this hooded man is doing the same thing. But before Roman could go out and see who the hell that man is, Obafemi throws him back in the ring with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex and follows it up with another fall from grace. And that's it. Obafemi just beat Roman Reigns. This was the night of hot debuts, and Obafemi was not any different. Roman couldn't save WWE, so that means the main event will determine the future of WWE. But the thing that we want to pay attention to right now is who the hell is that hooded man? Because he's unmasking himself, and it's Trick Williams. The former TNA World Champion is now a part of this new side. And this shows how strong this side is, because Trick and Oba were enemies back in NXT at some time. But because they want to make a name for themselves, they're now working with one another. But this is when we also realize that why Trick Williams took a couple of weeks off. Or it's better to say, he was given a couple of weeks off. And Trick delivers a thunderous trick shot to Roman Reigns, assisted by Obafemi, and these two men are standing tall. But they're not done yet. Trick Williams is going outside and he's clearing the announce table. Oba sends Roman out because they want to end Roman Reigns once and for all. He pops Roman up and slams him right through the announce table with a massive powerbomb to take him out indefinitely. Obafemi and Trick Williams, another powerful alliance of The Rock's side. But speaking of the man himself, before the main event, we have a guest. The man that claims to be the owner of WWE from now on is here before our big-time main event. The final boss has arrived. The Rock is here. And we all know that the score is now equalized again. It's 7-7. So the main event will determine the future of WWE. And The Rock is gonna inform us about something regarding the main event. Cody Rhodes. Tonight's the night, huh? The big one. The big main event of Survivor Series. The match that decides the future of WWE. You against The Rock's chosen one, Drew McIntyre. But before you get too comfortable, before you get all your hopes up about being some big hero saving the day, The Rock wants to remind you of something very important. The Rock makes the rules now. And that means the little victory you think you're gonna have tonight and save WWE? No. That ain't happening. Because tonight, anything goes. No rules, no limits, because The Rock can do whatever the hell he wants, whenever he wants. Think about the last few weeks, Cody. The Rock already showed you what happens when you say no. You've been dropped beaten, humiliated, claymored, screwed, embarrassed on your biggest stages and all of that. That was just a taste, a little bit of taste of what are the consequences of us standing against The Rock. So tonight, you're walking into that ring thinking you're gonna fight Drew McIntyre one-on-one. That's what you're doing. But remember, you're walking into a war zone that The Rock controls. You're walking into a fight where anything can happen, and everything will happen. Because Cody Rhodes, you should have joined The Rock when you had the chance. But you didn't, and now, you're gonna pay the price. As a matter of fact, what bothers me is that all of you stupid people have been calling us the Rebellion. We're not a rebellion. We are a new empire. And Cody Rhodes, remember this. You're not just fighting Drew McIntyre tonight. You're fighting against The Rock's empire. And when it's over, this company, this whole damn business, will belong to the final boss. If you smell what the final boss is cooking. It's time for the massive main event of the first ever two-night Survivor Series, which hosted this huge battle between two sides. This match will determine the future of the industry. This match will determine that will WWE remain what it is, or will it be taken over by a group of people that The Rock wants us to call it a new empire? Well, that all depends on this man, because he's now stepping into an anything goes match as a one-man army. The undisputed champion himself, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, who never decided to sell out to The Rock, is set to defend his title against Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre is, of course, showing off his most brutal abilities, because this match is now an anything goes. Anything can happen. That means weapons can be used. And Drew McIntyre is taking advantage of that. White noises through the tables, future shocks on the steel chairs. But on the other side, Cody Rhodes is not backing down as well. A gorgeous superplex by the undisputed champion right on the trash can. And it's not just the offense that makes the WWE fans proud. It's also the resilience of Cody Rhodes, where he's able to survive and kick out of different maneuvers from Drew McIntyre. But on the other side, Drew McIntyre is not willing to let this opportunity slip away. But at some point, Cody Rhodes manages to deliver a disaster kick which takes Drew McIntyre down, but Cody pays attention to ringside and sees a weapon which was brought out earlier in the match, and that is a sledgehammer. And Cody decides to go out and use it, but someone else is picking up the sledgehammer before Cody Rhodes, and that's The Rock's daughter, Ava. She was the key factor of this empire's takeover, but Cody should do something to stop her. Well, he doesn't have to, because another woman is doing it for Cody, and that's his wife. Brandy Rhodes is here, surprising everyone with her appearance, taking Ava out of the scene. So Cody Rhodes finally picks up the sledgehammer and enters the ring, but Drew McIntyre, who has recovered, delivers another white noise to the American Nightmare. Then we see William Regal, who has brass knuckles in hands, coming up to the apron, trying to hand it to Drew McIntyre. But Cody Rhodes arrives from behind and delivers a crossroads to Drew McIntyre. And now William Regal is helpless. Is Cody Rhodes thinking of doing something against William Regal? Well, Regal is begging for mercy. But as Cody is deciding what to do, he gets claymored by the recovered Drew McIntyre. And now Drew wants to take the brass knuckles from William Regal. Another shocking appearance! The man who was kicked out of NXT by Ava because of William Regal is back for revenge! Shawn Michaels, with a steel chair in hand, arrives from behind and takes down Drew McIntyre as well as William Regal. He throws the chair down and he wants to give us what we want, a sweet chin music right under the jaw of William Regal. And the recovered Cody Rhodes saw this all, and he decides to do something crazy. Something that we all want to see as well. Something Shawn Michaels just did. Cody wants the fans to cheer as he's lining Drew McIntyre up because he wants to hit him with the sweet chin music of his own. It is finally the time, but The Rock himself enters the ring and pulls Drew McIntyre out of the way, so Cody Rhodes accidentally superkicks Shawn Michaels. Cody can't believe what he just did, but Drew McIntyre throws him back in the ring, back first, spine first on the steel chair, as he takes him down with a Glasgow kiss, and is looking for another Claymore to finish things off. But Cody moves and Drew McIntyre accidentally claymores The Rock What the hell is going on? The Rock just got taken out by Drew McIntyre's Claymore. And Cody Rhodes takes advantage of that as he delivers a Cody Cutter face first on the same steel chair. Now Drew is down, and Cody Rhodes finally has the chance to end this damn thing. And he wants to do that by paying homage to Triple H, who was taken out by The Rock's team. He's doing that by using the sledgehammer. But Drew McIntyre manages to wear the brass knuckles, and Cody doesn't know that. And as he runs, he's met with the massive knockout punch by Drew McIntyre. And the very same sledgehammer is used against himself as Drew throws it right to his face and follows it up with the massive Claymore to end WWE once and for all. Drew McIntyre is the new undisputed champion, and he changes the future of the industry. The Rock side got 8 wins, while Team WWE got 7. That means the future of this industry will now be in The Rock's hands. And one of the new faces, well, it's better to say the very main face that is the chosen one by The Rock himself, is your new undisputed champion, Drew McIntyre. The Civil War ended this way, but how can the story go on from here? That's the question that many of us are asking ourselves right now. The question that Team WWE could be asking themselves right now. But what we see right now is Drew McIntyre's celebration. And that is a whole different story.